A challenge is a question. Do you know that? That's all it is. Challenge is a question. We were sitting around the table at lunch talking about Synogens is another company. And I spoke for a ton of them back in like 2016, 17. Kind of lost contact with them over the years. Reconnected with one recently with our team party. Her upline has 40% of the company and her downline wants me to do a call for them. So I'm like, yeah, yes, please. And we were talking and I was like, we were talking about how most people who get into the room are because they've done like 30 other things with us. And I was like, my only concern is what if nobody shows up because they've never heard of me? That's the challenge, right? The challenge is a question. How do we build influence between now and the call so that nobody wants to miss this fucking call? Because obviously we know the live attendance is the most important thing. Replays are great. You know, there's not a huge sign up rate off of replays. It's a lot of it's from live. So that became the question. And we sat around thinking about it, talking about it. Well, I really need access to all of the leaders that are going to be promoting it because if I need the leader to be sold on it if they're going to promote it, because the worst thing that could happen is no one shows up because the top girl is the only one who was excited about it. No one else was. So can I go on a little team page tour in between now and Sunday and hype this thing up so that everyone shows up? But that was just a challenge that became an immediate question. Every challenge is just a question. That's why I love life coaching so much. Because to me, business is just one big game of life coaching. That's all it is. Like everything in business is just life coaching. Sales, that's life coaching. Leadership, that's life coaching. Team trainings, like team get-togethers, life coach. It's all just one big, and that's why our team is so powerful because we're all life coaches sitting around asking each other questions. It's fucking bananas. Okay. Did that help? Because I don't remember what your question was. You're right. What are we doing again today? Where are we at? We're in person. Whoa! Holy shit, we're in Arizona.
I mix my core values into exactly what you said and everything. I'm like, each. I'm gonna go on the curiosity. Every challenge is a question for curiosity.
Love that. That's good. That's a good quote. Can you send that to me? Kurt, we need to make a reel on that. Yeah.
I'm asking for your perspective of how you feel about this, okay? So.
How I feel, okay. Do you want my head feelings or my heart feelings?
Maybe your experience, how's that? So your experience around the question I'm gonna ask you. So I've got these 2 clients.
Okay.
And I'm getting out of the more structured, we've only had a couple calls. So I'm getting out of the structured, we're kind of getting more into, like having just a coaching call where we're just asking questions and being exploratory and curious.
Okay.
So I feel like whenever I'm talking to them, they're telling me things and I'm kind of like putting pieces of the puzzle together behind. So I want to say like, well, what I think you're saying or what I hear you're saying, what I think is actually going on is this. Mm-hmm. However, my personal fear is that I'm going to maybe implant a limiting belief or I'm going to, do you suggest that's okay that I say that? Or?
I love this question, by the way. And I did say this to Elizabeth at lunch. I was like, you can also bring me coaching questions.
Oh, yes.
Because that's usually Mark's lane, but I really do love coaching. Even though it's not what I teach on. I don't want to sit around and listen to your asses, coach, but I love to answer questions. So this goes back to what I call intuition. It's all about intuition. When it comes to intuition, I will say, can I love you so much, and I know that you're totally cool with this, so I'm going to use an example from you if that's okay. Okay, so Trisha did a couple sales calls for us, and I listened in on one. And she had this point where she followed her intuition and then immediately found out from this person's, and here's the thing, it could have actually been right, but this person didn't agree with it. She might have been right, but they might not have been ready to accept it. And they said, I don't think what's happening. And she bounced out of it so fast. I was so proud of her. I don't think I ever told you that. I'm sorry. I was so proud of you for that. I really was. She bounced out of it so quick. Elena did the same thing on her master coach trial. She went with an intuition and the person was like, I don't know. And she, boom, just jumped out of it and went right back to where she was. If you can do that, follow intuition. I love intuition because it's essentially you seeing a layer that they're not even consciously aware of that maybe would take 20 more questions to even get them there. So like but this is the way you have to do it. Okay. Always lead with, I could be totally wrong about this, but to me, it kind of sounds like maybe you're saying this, but maybe this is going on. Let me know if that's off. Because if it's off, like I don't want to project anything on you. Like this is just what I kind of like am feeling. Let me know. And they'll either be like, oh, fuck. Or they'll be like, nah, okay, no big deal. No big deal. So, and then go right back to where you were. Does that make sense? And honestly, it's one of those things you got to just get in and fuck around with. You just got to go for it.
You know, like I'll put a, I don't know, I'll say a word or something where it will take on a whole new life form in their brain. And I'm like, I don't want to.
The really great news is if you do that, you're a really powerful coach and you can help them get rid of that. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Just be prepared. Always apologize in advance. That's how I start off every conversation. Oh, I'm so sorry if this is off. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't mean like, I'm sorry, like, but it's just like, that's kind of how I lead into my intuition is by giving them permission to let me know it's not right. Because what I don't want to do is as a leader and influence in their life, say, this is what I see. And then they're like, I don't feel that aligns at all, but I mean, I trust and respect you. So maybe that is, I don't want them to ever. So it's just like, this could be totally wrong. And now they have permission to easily say, yeah, that's fucking wrong. Then I can be like, cool, no worries. Let's move on. Okay? Sorry.
No, I was going to say, and then that, like, because, like, I understand how you say where you feel like you're planting something in them. Whereas if you do it this way, you're just bringing it up, but you're not leaving it there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's basically like me saying, do you want to see if you like this coffee? If you hate it, it's totally fine.
Right.
Versus, try my coffee that I made for you. It's so special and amazing. And then they're like, oh, yeah. Oh, cool.
Best coffee I've ever had. Thanks, Annie.
Thanks a lot, Annie. Way too much creamer, Annie. No, it was great. I love it. I needed creamer in my life today.
I've been telling people to, like, when I do, because I've been playing with the intuitive side of things, is I say, this is something that I've heard a couple other people bring up, and like, this might not resonate with you, but something like, if we can save some time kind of thing. Like,
Totally.
And they're like, no, but, and sometimes they get their own, they're like, that shoe
it sparks a different thought.
Yeah, they're like, that shoe doesn't fit, but this shoe fits.
Yeah.
I like that.
And that's, you know, that's just like, and I'm sure you guys have learned this from me. Mark is a true coach and I'm not. I learned true coaching and at any time can choose to true coach. But I'm really more of I'm an inspirer is what I am. And I have a coaching hat. I have a consulting hat. I have an intuition. I've got like 8 different hats that just come on and off at any given moment. Sometimes it is the feel. I'm a feeler. I'm a big time feeler. So like when I'm on a one-on-one session, like I'm trying to feel more than I'm trying to think. Because for me, and this might not be everyone's style, okay? So no one needs to go home and like try to take on Josh's style of coaching. That's why we teach the push method, by the way. We came with the push method because me and Mark both agreed we need a way to teach it where no one needs to live up to how you coach. Because you've put on so many fucking hats. I don't even know what the hats are. Mark knows my hats better than anyone else because he's watching, he's studying. He can explain the hats. Hearing Mark explain what I do is the only time I ever know what the fuck I'm doing. Is that what? Yeah, I think that is what I did. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. I didn't know. So like, don't feel the need to take that on. But that's part of the master coach process is like experimenting with some different hats to find which ones are yours. You know, I wear a lot of hats, but I'm a fucking weirdo. Like you guys have seen me. Like Mark's teaching, I'm like, I'm going to go lay in bed for like 4 hours. Like I am not the average or normal person, nor do I want or care to be. And none of you are either. You know, like we're all individuals and we're all going to find. And that's why it's important to like, I don't know if I've ever said this before, but I fucking hope I have. I don't want anyone in this room to be the next Josh or Mark. Like I don't. Good. I want you to learn from us. I want you to get ideas from us. But like when I go to sit under my mentor, sometimes I'm like kind of weirded out at how other people in the room take him as like the fucking word of God. It's like he's the Bible because he said so. Like and then these are $1 million earners, guys. And sometimes they're like, James is like, yeah, we tried this. And like, wait, how did you do that? And don't get me wrong, it's totally okay to grab that idea, but there's a really big difference between that's a really cool idea, I want to give that a try, versus what you did that, I don't do that, I'm wrong. How do I be right like you? They're you know what I'm saying? Like it's more of like a head voice approach to feeling like he has the right path. And if they're not doing it exactly like him, they're wrong. Does that make sense? Versus for me, I love to hear all of his ideas because they spark some other random idea that he didn't have, but I don't like that at all, but that made me go over here and find something I did like. Does that make sense? So I don't want to make it sound like you can't copy us, because there is some copying that always happens. You know what I mean? Like I had to learn a lot of other people's music before I could write my own. There's nothing bad or wrong, but I don't ever want to make it sound like that's the end goal. You know what I'm saying? So borrow as many things as you need to get what you need right now, but also feel the freedom and permission to explore and find your own hats. I haven't found all the hats. One of these days I will, but I haven't. There's a lot of hats out there, guys. You notice that? You ever like listen to someone and you're like, that's a totally different way of doing it, but I really like that. That's good. I want there to be lots of ways to do it. Okay?